All right, so I have with me in the studio one of the greatest artists of our generation, and Zambian music can never be the same without him. We have done interviews, T-BWOY, you and me, but we've never had an extensive sit down and actually talk about Shumo. So this is exactly what we are doing today. And thank you so much for coming through.
Appreciate, man. Appreciate.
You have been working so hard lately, and 2020 hasn't been a really smooth year. How's it been for you?
Yeah, man. There are a lot of challenges. I have, not I had. I have one of the biggest songs this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Congratulations.
I should
Cheers.
have. Thank you, man. Thank you very much to everybody that is making it big. You know, everyone, the DJs, the people that are sharing the music, everybody that is, participating and making this music become bigger. Um, it's been crazy. I would have made so much money.
Yeah.
I should have had a trip in June, but it failed obviously because of the coronavirus. So I think I'm going to undertake the same trip I was supposed to do in December, but things are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the plans that we put. That's why the Bible says our plans are not God's plans. We may want to do certain things, but God has got a certain direction that is going to take us to, and we never know, So it's been a crazy year, but I thank God that I still made it up to date. A lot of people lost their lives this year. I thank God for the grace and for keeping me fit and continuing blessing me with all the nice things.
All praises to him. Now, you are one of the artists that has been the name that has been engraved in the Zambian music industry. I know it hasn't been easy to reach the status where you are. I could call you a legend, but I know you will refuse. But yeah.
I'm not yet. I haven't achieved anything yet.
Yeah, so let's start from where it actually began. You went to Chivombo Basic School in the 90s. Was it the beginning of your career, and how did you just discover that you had a vein for music?
It started at Trinity, right there, close. Trinity, that used to be a church.
Oh yeah, yes.
There used to be a preschool. I don't know if it's still there. That's where I went for my preschool. We have a farm in Chiwombo, so I'm a Chiwombo guy. That's why I'll always sing about it.
Right.
Though most of the times, I would spend my times between here and that place. My music was amplified in the field. Mumunda so nimba waipa tractor wainangu waipa tractor nini kulast tuko kuja ni kungoimba chabe pena mbila kungoimba.
Yeah, that's at the family farm.
Yeah, we're farmers, very big farmers where I come from. If you ask anyone about the Chenda family in Chiwombo, nobody would miss us. They know it. Oh, Pamazezulu, Apopaja. I don't know what they call it now because it's been long, but in the 90s, I knew. My grandfather bought his first car in the 1950.
Wow.
Yes, because he was a farmer, so he believed in farming. And from us, we're big on the farming sector, mostly.
Yeah.
So in the farm, I would sing a lot. That's where my music started. I would sing a lot. Muchimunda nimba, kuma banana konse nimba, ndinechewa music chain. Even the times I was at the preschool there, I would always sing. I'm a musician and I come from very land and I can play. Ask anybody at Ascot Court, the guys that we grew up with, wakuno kuma Lusaka kuno, my times in Pesca kuno, they'll tell you I've been a musician. Anybody that knows me from Chiwombo will tell you I've been a musician all my life. So yeah. B1 is one of them, those people that know me from, he knows me. He knows my family. All my family, like everybody that is spread around. He knows them very, very well. So
we can easily call you a seasoned farmer before you started your music.
Man, no, farming is into me.
Yeah.
It's into me. It's into me. It's into me. Anybody that you know of business and farming, that's the thing that is into us. I'll say us because anybody that knows us, like I said, will know Kuti ndema a big farmer wa Chiwombo.
Nice. And most people actually would not know that you're also a mechanic.
Yeah.
The interest, how did it come about?
Half part ndine mwana wa Mzezulu, so uzi ya Mazezulu ambili ni wa mechanics banji. My mother's side, they're Govas, so That's, it's just natural in almost each and every goba that I know. All of them, they know how to touch things.
Yeah.
That's why people would always say, my mother's dad is from Chirundu, Chief Chiawa.
Right.
So came all the way. He's the one that settled in Chiwambo. Came all the way from Chief Chiawa and settled in Lusaka. From here, then Katuba then built his other farm in Chiwambo. So learning about vehicles, I actually never went to driving school. I learned how to drive at 12, a manual, a Land Rover.
Wow. So, all by yourself?
Yes, man. By seeing what was happening. My uncle certain times would say, hey, take a cranking handle, on a Land Rover 109.
Yeah.
So you have to know what to do. If he's the other side, he's the one that is cranking, you have to know how to start the car with a cranking handle.
Most of the new generation won't even know
they
what
don't
a
even know what the
cranking
handle is. Yeah. So poyamba pajauzi watuoni kushita so motoka ikazima bakuza ati yenda unyongeko carburetor unyongeko fuel when we're young. So utenga fuel wafaka mkama watunyiramo mkabureta muja maisa kuliza ngati nkupushinga ngati nyoliza nati mawaya yose mamotoka yoliza nati mawaya tiazi ya bwino. So I did motor vehicle engineering just for just to know
you actually went to school for it?
Yes, just to know how I got a certificate in City and Guilds motor vehicle engineering so that I just know how to work with vehicles. I know the problems. I'm not the one that always fixes my cars most of the times.
Yeah.
But I call people, but I know what the hell is wrong with my car anytime that I'm calling someone.
That is really interesting right there. And easily you could have never have done music with all this such of the
farming on your parts. No, I've always been a musician.
Yeah?
It's all just I think at the farm where I'm from, my uncles, I hear my grandfather never used to believe in a man being you've got to be doing something. So it's the little activities that I learned were because of my upbringing. But I'm a musician, inside out.
Yeah.
So nothing can ever take that away from me. I'm a musician and I love what I do. The other things are just to equip me with knowing how to live in society, knowing what if this was to happen. I know a few stuff about electricity, not because I studied. It's just because of interest, wanting to know how. Munyumba ngaita na baneba kuti bwami mfakireko bulb ya ku bedroom. Obwami ni konzileko light ku bedroom. Wangaike
everyone has to be handy
bakazi bako. Vintu vinango hivi ni kuzishitira weka. Sulipo no naita na baneba babwani konzileko bulb kuno. Opeza una mwana wa neba palasti. Munyumba mwana.
Your experience in the Zambian music industry is very much respected, and you have a lot to offer, especially to the young and upcoming artists. In light of that, you had released a mostly English album called Amama at some point.
Mm-hmm. That was the first album.
That was the first album. Do you feel partly that it didn't do so well because it was in English?
Yes, the experiments was I was trying hard to sound more like Jamaican and like a Zambian. And I laugh at myself every time I'm listening to that project, man. And just the way we were recording that album is very, very funny because but that time we couldn't hear that. It was trying to experiment and trying to sound like a Jamaican. I had to bring it down, the second project, because I had to start thinking of what is it that I'm going to do that is going to resonate with the people around me. What is it that people are going to appreciate? What is it that people will get? So when I dreamt of the song, the Mwatiuziwa song, that was a change of everything because then it just gave me a chorus in my dream. I heard the chorus. Mwatiuziwa tini kukondaiwe. Mwatiuziwa tini kukondaiwe. Then I immediately said, I'm going to go to Jerry Fingers. And do you know that song wasn't mixed?
The one that we still listen to.
Yes, it wasn't mixed. It wasn't a mixed version. It was just a song that I just got after the studio. I said, nifakile kupa CD nyimbo ngazenda nivele. And the next time I went there, the song wasn't there in the mu computer. I don't know what happened to it. So I just got the same unmixed song, but it sounds so perfect.
So that song couldn't have come out if you didn't get that copy.
Yeah, exactly. So when I was making that song, I was trying to make an experiment of, because then the musicians that were there, I recorded the Mwatizwa album, the Mwatizwa song 13 years ago, by the way, 2007.
Right.
So I was trying to make a song that is going to have a Nyanja tonation, okay? But it's in English. The verse is in English. So I start, here's a son, his mother really tries the best.
Yes, a son, his mother really tried the best.
I'm so much of a dancehall person, but I needed to bring it down to what Zambians could understand.
Right.
So I'll write some lyrics in Nyanja, then translate them in English, try to make the sound in English sound Nyanja. I don't know if you're getting that point.
Right.
Not kutini imbe, here's a son, his mother returned. Here's a son kulimwana. Wamaiba kwa maisa vintu vonse. You know? So putting it in English, here's a son, his mother really tries her best to impress him so he could do better.
To impress him so he could do better. And live a good life when he grow up later.
Live a good life. And then I get the direct translation from Nyanja. So at akakule kusogolo akankale bwino. Now I put it, to impress him so he could do better. Live a good life when he grows up later. So growing up, you don't say growing up later. But I needed it to make sense for people to have a direct translation from Nyanja into English and have the right tonation, singing in English, but Chimveka Chachi Nyanja. And a lot of people don't even know that was English. So the first verse for that song, I was singing about the son who is, rebellious. The mom is trying to do everything possible. And now she says, do you know that I love you? Second verse was in Nyanja, where I was singing about a wife who's crying and kneeling down and saying, do you know that I love you? Telling the husband, because the husband is, then the last verse, I kept on thinking, what God and how God feels when he sees us going astray. How does God feel? Obviously, he says, do you know that I love you? So I tried to make the song in 3 different parts so that it can touch almost all walks of life.
It was some piece of work that Ngoma Awards actually recognized and nominated you for Best Written Song. Did you get that award?
No, it was Radio Phoenix. They made the first ever awards. And I don't know why. Some awards, I'm the only one that took them. And since then, the awards just died out. Why did it have to be like that?
Like which
Like
ones?
the movie TV also, they made the awards first time. I was the only one that got that award. Up to now, no award. So Phoenix, there was a Best Written Song that was sponsored by the Post newspaper. I got that one. Then I was also in the Best Song of the Year category. I don't know who got that one, but I was number 2. I don't know how those awards were. No, second place.
You expected to get it.
So I even got the money. I got 5 million kwacha then.
At the time?
Yes, at the time. It was 5 million kwacha, which kickstarted a lot more things. Ngoma Awards, could just hear, no, the Ngoma Awards, you're nominated for this, but no any proof about the Ngoma Awards. So
to you, it doesn't count?
It doesn't count. If I was there, it would count.
But the recognition obviously still stands.
And last year what happened for the Ngoma Awards, nobody knew that there's very few musicians that knew about the Ngoma Awards. So what I did is, when I knew about it, I went and picked up Sean's, because I thought, there's a person that is more deserving. Somebody told me, and I said, what, I didn't really work hard this year, but I know somebody that is so deserving. So I went, collected T-Sean's papers. I printed them and took them to him, made him sign, and then I took them the last day of the entry, and they won the award.
Wow.
Just because I felt I didn't work hard, and there's somebody that I thought really, really worked hard, and didn't know about the awards.
Wow. And speaking about awards, most of the time here in Zambia, like we always hear people say certain awards, artists don't hear about them much, and there's always a talk after the awards about how people got nominated.
Like,
does that surprise you as well?
Like, 2016, honestly, I was supposed to get the best song of the year because my song Nikudala Nakuonapo.
Nikudala Nakuonapo. Matenda yesi ya fola. Oh gosh, I miss you, baby.
What's the biggest song? Tell me which song was bigger than that one. There's no song.
That was a big song. I agree.
It was just because I was more like reintroducing myself, and it's a pity. A lot of people think I'm a new artist because of the 3 years that I never recorded anything. 3 years I was just seated, So to some other presenters and some other people that were just joining the game, and that's why even now,
you felt like you're a new artist.
Even now, you find that
is that a privilege, or you felt like, come on, guys?
No, man. It's like I get left out. You see a lot of people dancing to my song at a big event, and somebody else is singing to my song at a big event, and I'm not there. And you keep wondering, like, why do these people? A lot of people thought I was still in the southern province, but I've been in Lusaka now almost 3 years, And you still find people leaving you on big events, big stuff.
Yeah.
And man, to me, I always wonder, like, what if I wasn't making money elsewhere?
Yeah.
How would I have my life been?
I wanted specifically to talk about the award nominations. Like, for example, you talk about how you were left out in 2016 when you had the biggest song in the country, arguably the biggest song. Yeah,
I was left out on so many awards. I just got best best R&B song. I smiled, but
Do you feel there's a biasness in awards?
There is definitely. There are people that that when they get into a competition, they definitely win, even if they don't deserve it. But for me, my work is not really for awards. My work is really my own satisfaction. If I was all about winning awards, I could manage to bribe anyone. I could give them the money if I was all about the recognition. I could give them the money anytime to say, okay, put me there. How much do you want? It's easy. For me, it's not about the awards. For me, it's about my self-satisfaction, my journey in music. Where is it that I want to go? And I thank God for my wife, because my wife understands every little thing that I do, and she pushes me. I'll tell you, 2015, she was watching the ZMA's awards. Then she calls me. They called me at the same time. I was in Pemba with my sister. They're telling me, T, you see these boys that are winning awards here, I know that if you definitely recorded some songs, you definitely win, or you definitely get a nomination. So what the hell is going on with you? Why don't you start recording music and making those videos again? We miss your music. That was my sister and my wife.
Your wife is your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
My girlfriend then, she's telling me, why don't you record? Even the times that I slack, she'll tell me, when are we making the video, babe? We need to make the video for our song, we need to push. And I always laugh like, yeah, so.
And somebody told me that Cheers was actually written for her.
Yeah, I did Cheers for her. I was thinking about her, man. I was reminding her today. I said, do you remember every time we're in the car and I do like Punkama Muntwanga? Every time I'm like Punkama Muntwanga. That's what made me think about the song. That's what made me write the song. So then she says, no, I don't believe, because she couldn't
believe that was her song.
No, but she knows, because every time I'm working on a project, like today there's something I was talking about, a song. I always bring forth topics, and then she advises and tells me, oh no, this, I think if you did it this way, there's a song that she's troubling me, right now. Make that video. That is my song. Okay. If you don't make it now, make it as my birthday present. It doesn't even talk about her. It talks about, it's a motivational song that talks about motivating people, saying you can be at the position that you are in, but as long as you're working hard, God is going to bless you. Just keep working. So for me, responding to you, awards, yes, they are a plus to me because then it shows that people are appreciating the little things that I get to contribute. But it don't really matter because I put in a lot, man.
Right.
Last week I shot a music video. I didn't spend so much, but it was a lot. Such that if you put it pamozi, upeza tuwagula this year, what I've spent on music videos, wafaka pamozi, upeza tuwagula motoka olongo soka olo, wagula ploti olongo soka. But I haven't really had shows.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make that? Through music festival put me at a platform where it was easy for me to get to do so many little things. And then from there, I got sharp and did a few things that keep bringing me money here and there. So that's how much I survive. And I love the music. So if I was really working for the awards, I wouldn't manage because the year that I don't get the award, then I don't get to work. So I work because of my own satisfaction. How does the song make me feel? Have I grown? How does this music make me feel? Have I grown? If I'm listening, yesterday I was listening to a few of my songs. I put them on my status and even my Facebook status and my WhatsApp status, just looking back at where I'm coming from. Am I improving? Am I not improving? And now what compels me to keep doing this music till the day that I die is my daughter. I want my child to know that I was never a quitter. I want my child to know Tamika means a strong woman. You know? So the way that I was praying for my child to be born and look like is exactly how she looks like. So for me, every
you had
thing,
you had
exactly. I had the name. I had the way I wanted, the way I was praying to God that I want her to look like.
Is
Even
exactly.
so many years. Exactly. She looks exactly the way I thought she would look like. Wow. So many years before I even had her. So many years before I even knew I was going to have a child. So many years before I even knew kutinza akwati nezona mwanza kamitisa chegelo yaizani badira che mwana wabwino. So I always thought I would have a baby girl, you know, and it's exactly that. So she compels me to doing what I get to do. Everything that I do. I made a promise in 2015 when, you don't know this story, I almost died.
2015?
Yes, I took a lot of alcohol in 2015. What happened was, anyway, I was already with my wife then. And then there was another girl in the triangle.
Entanglement?
Not really. You know, I wasn't married. So, nikusankapo nkana magelo wabili usankapo kwa mekuzalema. Nesankapo kunti kwekuzalema nikuti kwekuzashitika vintu bwino. Because this girl that I had, she was a little movies, man. So kabala mwana karate. I went into, I think, some sort of depression because I was there for that girl, I was there for the child, I was there providing everything. After I meet that jagero, nize kuchita tu vintu, utaptati, at least niziwa nika prepared kuti, azan balia mwana. And I always used to tell her, if this baby is my child, azankara mkazi. Gati mwana si wanga oyo. Azankara mamuna. Mwana wanga chabe wazo una Facebook.
Was a doubt that it might not.
I knew. Her friends told me that she was messing around with somebody.
Right.
And Nobo Baramanji colored wasn't this fib. So then it took me into some sort of depression. Then, you know, I got stuck on I remember crying to my wife now. Then nishini gelo change. Wana mzako vya chita. Sara shitebu ino ene mtima wanga ubaga. Chakubawa chatuishto uza gelo inango manje. Oshimikila gelo ino. Na manje ya para you know. So then in the event, she followed me to Pemba. Let me tell you a story. Whilst in Pemba, the same day that my wife landed in Pemba, my wife used to come to the village, my brother, in case you didn't know.
Wow.
She used to come to the village. We'd stay, sometimes 2 months. Ngatalipa holiday, alipa leave shani. Tankara tonsi kwe kuja, namlangiza ko, kwenye ndani ukwa sona so, ven chitani, vasona so, nampei kam. Lucky enough, that day, I'd put gas in my car. So went to Choma, shopped, got some drinks. And I was drinking because I don't like eating. Nobody sins out his band. I don't eat that much. Nikumwa whiskey. na bwana pizikati vimuwa nikola maningi vija, so I was bent from upper, so viwhisky vakaena until I went to Fairview. There was an endoscopy that was done na bwana pizikati na maausazi vanchoka vimuwa. So from there, that's when I made a promise to myself. I said, what is this? I have this person that cares for me a lot, but I keep thinking about that other girl that disappointed me. I have this, my sisters and everybody and everyone that loves me. I have the music, I have education that I want to take care of. Why is it that I can't put my mind to these things that seem important to me? Then, whilst at Fairview Hospital, I said, I will do it. Everything, I'm going to turn my life 365 degrees. 60 degrees, is it? 65 in my days, 60 degrees.
360.
360 and change my whole life. The first thing that I saw that was making me a little slow with my progress was the alcohol. Sometimes when and I was never an alcoholic, you know, I was just an alcohol abuser. Whenever I find the alcohol, I'll drink it, a lot of it. It's either the money is done in my pocket or on a black.
Either of the two.
At least power kati or see them too. You know, so I made up a decision and I said I was going to get back to my music, and I said I would do it. That's how come Do It was born. I said I'm always going to make brand stuff that is going to be called Do It.
Right.
Like Do It. That it should remind me of my promise to myself that I'm going to change. And I told my wife, I was drunk, I told her, I'm going to marry you someday. And she says, I know you're just joking. I'm like, okay, we'll see. I was in my drunk state, and she still reminds me up to now. She says, you know, I thought you were just joking about that because I knew you had plenty of girls here and there. And, okay, you know, people change. And I was stuck on you because I said I was going to make a 360 degrees change. So
since that time, you've never touched a bottle?
I've never tasted alcohol, and everything that I said I was going to stop, I stopped.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right there and then. First of all, before I went to Fairview, I was admitted. The first day I ever slept in hospital was, no, that was the second day because of alcohol. The first day I was at, what you call this again? Lusaka Trust. Neze Lusaka Trust, moba wanikola pa hospital.
Wow.
Admitted, mpamvu, mavenza, kudibe. Doctor aseka, kunipasa chabe madrip basi. Following day, doctor, you know, you are discharged. Naenda kunyumba. Second time, that was in 2013. Second time was in 2015. So 2015, the same thing happened. Kuma miuki kwenze kuluka blood yozona. Kuipa mawiski amenewa kuma bantu. Mawiski apaya. A lot of people don't know that alcohol actually kills. A lot of people have died accusing people to say, no, they poisoned me. No, you were never poisoned. You alcohol. Just overtook that alcohol. You poisoned yourself. So I was admitted at Monze Hospital. Kuja kukahaiko sikavu kwe kuja ndekwenezo pitisamo peni. Muntu anienza from kuja madam from Pemba, Monze, nonienza from there up to here na driver's license, foreign driver's license. Kuti cheni purumuki.
Wow.
Ndiye mwena purumukira, otherwise sembe senze vintu. Kufika sembe futi sima insurance eti nayo ya kapana sembe nchani, because that procedure was costing 11,000 then at Fairview. You know, so
that was a lot of money.
Yeah, that was a lot of money. So I just thank God that sort of changed me into becoming the person that I am. Since then, it's been Do It, and since then, I've promised myself to say I'll continue doing the music till the day that I stop breathing.
Right. You treasure your daughter so much. We see your posts on social media. What does she mean to you?
She means everything, man. Look at my child. My child looks like me. She talks like me. Nakukamba chedwa okamba pakaya chizungu chake chapanga bunch. But she looks like me. It's like my own reflection, the same way that people like to get photos. They wanna show, you know, kupaka photo pa building pa chimoto kachabu, you know, ende mani manvera nga niko pa mananga. Mananga nikamkopa so cheni manvera bwino nimafuna cheni myangana. Mwechonekera che kuchoka chi apa ponse apa. Shoneka che mungandini ayi mwenezo kulira so che. Ngachangana nisina smiling anjele equipment isebenza zo lapha.
Okay, so you took a break in. You've taken a lot of breaks, and every time you take a break, it's like you go and recharge yourself and come back and have a nationwide hit, all the charts. What's the secret, man?
First time was after I did my first album. The Amama album failed. I decided to, change formula, change everything, so I see how, and it worked. The Matuzi were and I always talk to my God. I always say, God, do you really want me to continue doing this music? I remember in 2016, that was my prayer. 2015 December, I actually went to see the older sister to my mom. I call her my mom in Kalulushi.
Mm-hmm.
I went there. I drove all the way from Pemba to Kalulushi. I went to tell her to say, Mom, I need you to pray for me. And she's asking me, what do you want? I said, I've changed and I'm doing a 360 degrees, but I need your prayers. I don't want to go to some pastor and pray for me. I don't want to lie like that, because God says, your mother and father, honor your mother and father. That is number what commandment? I think it's one of the biggest commandments there.
Yeah.
So in as much as I would want to go to some preacher man to pray for me, I want you to bless me.
Mm-hmm.
So we went, she prayed for me, and then we even went to church. And from there, things just started happening. I told my God, I said, Mulungu wangu mufuna nipitilize. And my wife there, I'm telling her, uzi wa mtu wangu, hapa nizapanga kwa manyimbo yali 5. Manyimbo anga sasa hitinga, and I put in my best. Sasa hitinga manyimbo haya, nguleka chapa manje.
That was your bet. Like, after these 5 songs,
if I don't hit,
they're not successful, that's it.
Yes. So we did 2 songs first. There was, I did Loving You song, and then I spent. Yeah, sometimes kushta kufana njala so pa music che. Yeah, so we got to a point where we were doing the Miss You song. We had almost concluded with the project, so we said, okay, let's make a song that is gonna make a new version of T-BWOY. The T-BWOY that people loved the first time. Let's make him now into a new guy. So I was praying to God. I said, God, if this Miss You song doesn't hit, I'm stopping. I'm going to put in my best. I remember the day that we were shooting the video, at the hotel where we were shooting, the guys just changed on me. I was supposed to pay 1,500 kwacha. Then the guys switched on me. They said, no, for you to book this presidential suite, since our boss is there, you just need to pay the whole amount. And I paid 6,000 kwacha cash.
That was the last day.
The day Shefi had come in, Shefi never told me anything, this funny stuff. No, Shefi did everything for himself. He came, we were at the shoot. And then I was coming from Pemba. I was supposed to leave the country in the next coming 2 days. Kwenda ku China, kwenda gula ma materials, my equipment ya do it.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, these guys are telling me to say, no, you can't film today because ndarama ufunga ulipile yonse manje. I'm thinking to myself, 470 ready. Ndarama lero. So they said 6,000. I called my sister. My sister is my very good friend and my advisor. Hey, want a bunch. Nilipile che yonse lipia. Lipida che, just give it the last try.
Mm-hmm.
I call my wife, she says the same thing. Lipida che ngati nkulipida. So I swipe. Umtima chababa. I remember the way the guys were looking at me, my video producers. Nishi. Nenda amena lipidia ya video editing. Trampa tambovuta na manje parastat. Iwe. Dama ukuwachosa one time and then isepano utuzati. No, then darama. No. Fakapo darama. We even had a bit of argument there. So I paid. The devil was trying to distract me.
Right.
So if I didn't get to do that thing right there and then, probably that song wouldn't have been huge.
Yeah.
So I had to pay, and I told God, this is my last energy I'm putting. If this song doesn't hit, I'm not gonna trouble myself.
And it went on to be the
God
number 1
surprised
song.
me. It was the number 1 song for so many months.
Wow.
So then I started believing in him. I'm like, okay, then I know you have a purpose for me. You have a reason why you've kept me doing this thing.
Yeah. Right now you have Cheers. After a short break, you're back again. And it's one of the biggest songs right now. Nobody saw that you're going to do a remix. What prompted you to do that?
Didn't even go on a break. Remember there was Njota. Njota, I thought it was going to be a big song because I spent a lot on it again. And then there was Take It Easy that I shot in Namibia. There was a couple of
lovely video, actually.
Yeah, there was a couple of lovely videos. Sometimes I wonder, like, but anyway, I keep doing what I love to do. The remix, after I did the original version and people loved it like mad, I said, okay. I was talking to Bombshell that night. I was telling her about a song. And then she's telling me, T, we need to work, man. We need to work. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm thinking, let's do a remix for the song. And Bombshell says, okay, yeah, let me jump on it. And then I'm asking her, who else can we fix on here? I just want a lady's version. Then she says, okay, mentions a few names. I'm like, no. Then, kuyopa mazimai guy, not my beef. Then she mentions Mampi. So when I went to Mampi, I sent her, because me and Mampi, you won't believe it. Me and Mampi are very, very close for the longest time, over 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I sent the song to her. She says, come pick me up. So I picked her up. Her verse we recorded from Jazzy Boys, but my verse I recorded from my place, my house. So I didn't tell Mampi that Bombshell was on it, because I didn't know what relationship they have. I didn't know that they're actually very good friends too. So
wow.
Later on, it was a boom. And then we bounced the first day we went to Siavonga. We went to Siavonga to film. No bofika late. No shooting. We went there again the second time. I'm like, no, I'm not going to give up. Cubic was like, no, take shooting. I'm like, no, we're going to mess up the whole concept. The whole concept. The concept is like this. I came up with the concept with Gracie Ramsey for filming the other stuff. Yeah. And then Cubic came up with the concept for the studio. Right. Mampi came up with the concept for putting the things in place. Bombshell also did. It was just a teamwork, man. All of us were contributing. How can we do this? Let's put this and that. That's how the remix went.
Awesome.
If you ask me, I love the lyrics for both ladies. They were really, really deep.
They were amazing. They came through with that one.
Deep. A lot of people will tell me a lot of things. No, but for me, that is satisfaction that I get. They did a good job. If you write them down, you start reading them, that's when you get how intelligent they were when they were, putting them down.
That is awesome. You have put in the work for over 2 decades now. What legacy do you want to leave behind? Say, hey, this is what I work for.
Yeah, it's since 2006. That was my first album.
Right.
So it's almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
Well, I want everywhere if my child becomes a big superstar out there, she should know that I was doing this because I wanted to leave a legacy for her, and she should behave. If she will watch this interview, whenever that she's gonna watch, she needs to know that she's a superstar. And never, ever accept anybody intimidating her and telling her to say, you can't do anything. Because I managed to do this. She's going to do even much bigger things than me.
You could root for her to be an entertainer.
I don't mind.
I think most parents wouldn't don't do what I did. I want you to go to school.
Yeah,
get that degree, I went to school, and be a professional.
Yeah, I went to school. I don't want my child to keep working for people. No. I want her to be independent, do her own things. She should go get the education, but do her own things. Whatsoever that she's going to choose. If she chose
music, you're still allowed to do it.
Too much. She'll be the biggest musician in the world. And I'm telling you that because I know how I can do it. She would be one of the biggest musicians. As long as God keeps me here, keeps giving me the resources, my child would be the biggest musician. One of the biggest musicians in the world. Awesome. If she chose to do music.
Yeah. I was going to close the interview right now, but just before we started talking, you mentioned to me about DJ LBC, who was actually one of my mentors. And to you, how do you remember him? What made him stand out from the rest, and something that new DJs could actually pick?
A lot of people, I would always joke with him and tell him to say, he would just laugh, with his big laughter. At Banjo, guys, Mapika Chan, what you guys cooking? Every time that he comes to our house, you find me cooking. He recorded his first album at my place there, Busy Bile. I remember we were close, Kudara, but we became closer. Yeah, manager time as a record project because he was always at my place there. So we would have long chats, chatting about so many different things. He would show me other stuff. He's the first person to show me Shazam, actually. He says, let me show you this application, man. Download it now. Yeah, it does. It works wonders. You need to do this, this, and that. LBC, if LBC was still alive today, I know that most of his shows that go around the big ones, I wouldn't miss, because I know he had ears to on the ground, and he'd definitely say, no, put up my brother here because he deserves it.
Yeah.
I deserve so many other things that people leave me, and people don't even know what big ngakambe bwanje chizungu chaivalika. Vantu vamamani hapa mafunction yakula mastambiki chani nifungo pezekapo chaka chibwera ichi. Na yonse mafunction yakula nikaimbe vintu vodabwisana maningi. Osati vantu vazina makuti no he's not around nilipo nikamlusaka. Sinifuna kumisa mafunction yonse haya nibwino nipezekepo so that tipange show yolongo soka.
T-BWOY, thank you so much for coming through and for catching
Blessed
up with me.
every time, you know.
Yeah.
Blessings to everybody. Keep winning. Every other person that is there and thinking that God has forgotten about you, he hasn't. Mulungu sama gona pa bantu bake. Uyu lesa talekelesha bakwe. Know that the same God that has blessed me, he's going to bless you. He's going to bless everybody. Big up yourselves.